Truth, the 144, the chosen of the chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. I greet you all in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I am Celestial Earth in the divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you live from nowhere other than 5D, the fifth dimension. Right? For those who are here already, continue to get comfortable. For those who are just getting into the 5D expansion, welcome in, welcome and walk and take a look around, get a feel, because the energies are shifting. And you've already shifted a timeline or two of your own once you start to expand your consciousness. So, welcome here. I am still in the land of Jamaica in the islands, um, in these tropical storms, in this tropical place. According to them, Tropical Storm Raphael is coming through, and it has been raining and pouring all day. It's still drizzling a little, so you may see it come in and out. You may hear it if it picks back up. Um, there's a lot energetically going on, and I know I haven't been on every day. As I said, with technical difficulties and whatnot, it's a little harder um, to get on and do the videos and just set them, so it would only be lives until I can sort something out. So with that, I want to go into two things. There was a grand sextile last Monday. I want to speak on that. To kind of tie, I spoke a little bit about it. I want to tie that together with also the new moon that we just had. So these energies are really, really picking up. Um, they're always changing, right? But this is like accelerated frequencies. The frequencies are accelerating. Energies are definitely shifting. More and more people are waking up and tuning in and becoming attuned to this light. So the grand sextile on that day, and I wanted to share this download from last week, so I'm going to share as much as I can before I'm going to read the download I got about it. But it was really about receptivity and inviting us into this space of receptivity where the energies, and receptivity is usually a lot of feminine energy, and that's what kind of is being highlighted. Um, I want to say during the grand sextile with all the planets, all six of the planets that were at these 6 points, that was like a mark. It was like a Merkaba activation, like a cosmic Merkaba activation. Um, and when you go from point to point and you outline the Merkaba, let me put it that way. When you outline the Merkaba, then you are also activating Metatron's cube for those who are able to outline it, not just by physically drawing it, but also by, um, I want to say, engaging in each point, if you notice, with where these planets were aligned at that moment on the 28th, especially with the moon in Virgo. The moon was a part of that alignment that made it an exact grand sextile at that time. Some of the planets are still in that place in space, especially the outer planets. So the outer planets, there's a trine. So with this grand sextile, there are two trines, right? So there's a triangle going up, a triangle going down. And so one of the grand trines were an earth trine. So that means three planets in the earth signs. And the other one was a water trine. So that means three planets in the water signs. And so the outer planets, which are the major ones right now, the movers and the shakers, even though they move slowly, they make a big impact when they move. So planets like um, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, however you pronounce it. These planets are in specific places right now, especially Pluto and Capricorn. That's part of the Earth trine, and and Uranus. Uranus is part of the Earth trine as well, which is in Taurus. So making changes in our perspectives in the earth. This is another major echo. I've been talking about this for quite some time, especially since the nodes were in Taurus and Scorpio. And we're getting a little bit of that echo again as we are in the Scorpio season. And the next full moon is going to be Taurus. So we're going to get a little bit more of the echoes of that energy that is highlighting what needs to be um, looked at, what perspectives. A lot of people's perspectives are still changing in regards to how they value the material things in this earth, right? Mother Earth is making shifts and moves. And for us to make shifts and moves, our perspectives have to change and how we view things in the earth. So we're getting a lot of this feminine energy, this receptivity, because for us to make the moves that we need to make, there must be some instructions that we are receptive to in this earth. And our great server, the sun, is definitely letting off some information. That was another part I wanted to share, the solar flares. Um, I've heard people talking about the solar flares, these whatever class it is, M class, MFs, all of these. The solar flares, simply put, is information from the sun. If the sun is our server, when the sun flares, it is sending light codes, information to us, and we are receiving them and retrieving these light codes as per and according to our light quotient, our quotient of light, how we are handling our light, so to speak, how we're infused with the light, especially with the light grid. The light grid activation is playing a really big part. And for those who are more infused with the light grid, when we get these changes, you're more in tune, you're more able to adapt. And when the flares come through, you will feel them, but they go through you better than they go through people who are not doing their soul work, not infusing with the light, because you go against the grain, so to speak. You're going against the grain of the earth, right? You're so busy going with the grain of the world, but you're going against the grain of the earth and the universe, the celestial earth, to be exact. No pun intended. Um, so the solar flares, we're to look at them like information, right? And there's these charges. The sun is charged with both negative and positive, and that's why this receptive energy, right? These waters in the sextile, where we have the grand trine waters and the grand trine earth, it's both speaking about feminine energy, which is receptivity, which is the negative charge. So I say that to say this: there are fuses that we're getting in the earth, from the sun, both negative and positive charges. These are the universal codes, the binary codes, the computer codes. It's how the computer functions. Remember, the computer is a replica of you. So all of this plus and minus, the ones and zeros, the negative and positive charge, these are the infusions, these are the charges um, within the earth and the universe, coming from the universe into the earth. The earth could not be made without it, meaning the receptivity of the universe along with the creativity of the earth. The earth is a manifestation of everything that it comes from in the universe. And there is a receptivity. I was literally just explaining this to someone yesterday, I believe, with the receptivity. Everything comes from receptivity. And this meaning the woman being receptivity. Um, the earth, the universe. The woman is a representative of this receptivity. That's what I was explaining. The womb, man. Man comes from the womb. So man represents the masculine energy and the creativity, the creative activity. Everything that is creative has to come from receptivity, if you get what I'm saying now. So just as the man comes from the woman, the masculine comes from the feminine, the creative comes from the receptive. So this is a charge that we're looking at, the receptive charge. In order for us to make the next step and do what must needs be done, there is a receptive charge. So this receptive, this grand sextile, which has two trines, is highlighting receptivity before we get into the new moon. And then the new moon brings in this masculine energy because we see all these ones, right? When it comes to the ones and zeros, the one is the masculine energy. That is the new beginning. It means go. It is the will to do. And the zero is the feminine energy. It is the womb that we come out of. And once you're birthed through the womb, through the zero, then comes the first step, the first stage. Then comes one, the new beginning. And so, new beginnings is about taking the initiative. So, this is what the new moon was about, right? So, the new moon is inviting us to take the initiative in every way. We're seeing multiples of ones. One seems to be the code of that day. So if you look at the new moon day, it's 11-1. So that already is 111. When you count up the entire, all the digits of that date, you get 11, another 1-1, right? And so from 111 to 1111 is another vortex. So that in itself is a portal. 11-1 is a portal. 111, that's a portal. And all the way to the 1111 portal. So there's a vortex in between. For those of you who know when I speak of the portals and the vortexes. Um, so the vortex is like that in between. And remember, it's all about, it's just being energetic hotspots. And this vortex is really highlighting the initiative, taking the initiative. So coming from the receptivity of this happy grand sextile that we had last week, leading up into more of the masculine energy. So out of the receptivity, out of the feminine energy, out of that feminine charge comes now the masculine energy. And this is helping us to go energetically speaking for those who are infused and those who choose to infuse. It's helping you to move with what you need to move with in your life, world, and affairs. Everyone's is different. So it's helping you to turn over that new leaf, to get into that new um, level of whatever is there that awaits you, right? So the trueness is in the ones. It's in the ones, it's in the digits. And here's where 11 shows up again. At the time of the new moon, we have Mars in Cancer and we have Pluto in Capricorn at 29 degrees, an exact opposition, right? And 2 and 9 is 11. So again, we already have an 11-11 happening on that 11 day. That universal code date is 11. So there's so much being said. There's so many ones being thrown out there. There's so much that is saying take the initiative. It's time now to be creative and take the initiative in releasing and letting go what you need to let go to step forward. As we're in the Scorpio season, it is definitely about death to rebirth. When you engage Pluto, Pluto that rules Scorpio is also giving the death to rebirth transformation. It is bringing the revelations that we need to release, especially in this window of Pluto being in Capricorn before it leaves on the 19th, going forward into Aquarius, never to drop back into Capricorn, at least for the next 200 something years. So, in our lifetime, we're not going to see this again. This is the time. It's time to shift, and it's helping us into 5D. Why I'm saying all of this more specifically is this is a new level and a new stage for those of us entering into 5D, for those of us traversing through 5D, because don't just think you get to 5D and that's it. There's work to do. It takes work to get here by expanding your consciousness, and it takes work to navigate through 5D because there's so much that we have to shake off. There's so much that we have to get rid of. The shadows of the age of the ram, the shadows of the Piscean age. These are what we are working with right now, especially the shadows of the age of the ram while we have Chiron in Aries, while we also have our North Node in Aries, which is about our soul sovereignty. So all of this is helping us to step into that. But we have to, on a personal level, humble ourselves. This is going to take humility, and I'm going to share this with you as a dream that I had, or that I got about a few nights ago, in explaining what humility is, as someone was coming up against me in the dream. And in the dream, I was simply going to work. Um, Going to work, it feels like at a grocery store, and going in ready to work when I was presented with an expansion in the store that the boss gave me. It had vegetables, and it's like, oh, you're in charge of this part, and it's all dedicated to me. And people were coming to me and asking me, who am I? What do I do? Because I was just as surprised, and this was being given to me. This is all happening in a dream, and I'm receiving it. And as they come to me and ask me, I say, okay, let me go to this to the boss and see what they want me to do. You want me to speak on what it is that I do. And he let me know that we couldn't do it at that time. Like, for some reason, it's like he was saying, this is not what we can't do this at this time. And what I got from that point in the dream is that there's no time and space to explain anything. When you recognize something and you see it for what it is, there's really no time to explain to them. It's just honoring the expansion and knowing that the expansion is here. Why it is here and whatever other details you need to know are irrelevant at this point, because there is no time and space for this. There is no time within this space to break that down, right? Because we've been doing that all along. This is a time to move forward. This is a time to take the initiative and move. You've been getting all the information that you need. And so when you see what you see, when you see someone carrying the light, when you see someone moving with the light, then it's time to just say yes to the truth and move into that next step. Um, there's no time to try to figure out what is it that I need to get rid of. Like, you don't have time for that. It's just knowing what it is, and in some cases, cold turkey, just stopping cold turkey. There's no time to even like fizzle it out or wean off, so to speak. There's no weaning. It's time to just cold turkey, get off the titty and go and get the food. It's time to stop breastfeeding. The earth is not breastfeeding you anymore. Right? It's like, look, go. I'm moving over. I'm turning over. You got all you need. You got all the nutrients, everything that I gave you. It's time to make a change, take a step. It's time to, like Uranus is representing in Taurus, it's time to make that radical change, right? And so humility, thank you, Spirit. Humility is what was coming through, because in that dream, at that point when I realized there's no time and space, um, after that, someone had come to me. Oh, hello from California. Yay, peace, love, and light. Welcome. Someone, usually I don't do a live this late, but I'm just going with the flow and the energy as it comes sitting out here. Um, the humility. This is a key point that's going to help a lot with how to fix and figure out what they need. But humility is going to help us a long way. But someone came across me, and I guess they were disgruntled by my new expansion and blessing. And it's someone that I know in real life, um, and had done me wrong before, but it's neither here nor there to me. And they kept going and spewing rumors and whatever. They were just spewing kind of like hate energy towards me. And suddenly I just had enough, and I stopped and I addressed them in front of everybody, because they were doing what they were doing in front of everybody. And I said, you know, you're wrong. And I said, you've been wrong all the way from back then. And they were like shocked. So I say this to let y'all know, some people are going to act like they don't know what you're talking about, right? So when you address the energies, it's not even really about them, but it's about addressing the truth and the energy. And it's like, Enough is enough. A lot of us are feeling that feeling too. Enough is enough. Now address the truth. You have been wrong a long time ago, and I'm not holding you up for that, but this is the truth of the matter, and you don't have any humility. And that's when someone else kind of was like, oh, but they're a good person. They do this and they do that. And I had to stand firm. And I kind of went into a sort of preaching mode in the dream at that point, and could feel others circling around because I got really passionate about it. And here's the truth. And I'm going to tell you, just as I said it in the dream, there is a fine line between humility and being good. And just because someone is good does not mean they are being humble and having humility. And this humility is what allows you to, and this was the definition of humility as it came to me in the dream. You are humble when a thought comes up and you're able to tell that thought to sit down. That is humility. You can be good all you want, but if a thought comes across your mind and you don't know how to control it, then you have no humility. You are not humbling yourself to the truth in life. You're not taking the time to humble yourself to what truly is in the true timeline reality, right? And so, regardless of how good people may think they're doing all the great things in the world, that does not mean they are humble. Do not confuse the two. You can be a good person and lack a lot of humility. And I'm saying this so that we understand what's going to carry us a long way is humility. Humility in every way, even when you feel embarrassed. Accountability and being able to say, yes, I did this. Yes, that's me. Yes, I hold myself accountable. I don't care how ugly it looks, right? Truth, beauty, and goodness, it's always going to be good. And if it's true, it's always going to be good. So humble yourself to the truth. And what this looks like in our consciousness, I want to break it down so that we understand it. The humility is, let me go back to this. In our consciousness, the thoughts is everything in the subconscious mind. That's the masculine energy. That is the thinking. That is the ego, right? And this is where the ego needs to be told to sit down. Humbleizing the ego is what I'm explaining to you. The subconscious mind is our feelings. It's the feminine energy, it's our feelings, and it is the intuition. It is the receptivity part of us. And so this is where, in order to have humility, no matter what comes up, the misappropriated thoughts, the misappropriated feelings based on things that have happened to us, whether good, whether bad, no matter what it is, it's for you to humble yourself to the experience. I don't care what it is. I don't care who did what to you when and how unfair it is, right? And I'm not being careless. I'm being careful and truthful. You have to humble yourself. You cannot make the excuse. This is where we have to come out of the victimhood state. We cannot make an excuse of saying, well, this happened to me or that happened to me. Okay, address it, face it, but do not use it as an excuse to have some type of reaction or comeback or misappropriated thoughts and feelings of your own towards a situation or a person based on what happened to you. That is a lack of humility. Humility means when it comes up, even if it hurts, matter of fact, especially if it hurts, you need to sit your ass down. I'm going to say it as raw as it could be. You need to tell your thoughts, sit your ass down. I would not allow you to jump in the way to quote unquote protect me, because that's what the ego does. The ego protects you. That's why I don't tell people to get rid of their ego. You need to humble-ize your ego. Humble eyes, real eyes, and recognize the truth within you. And when you're focused on the truth and you have your third eye set on the truth, you respect that truth and you adjust the feelings in your sacral, your emotional body. So you got to work with your energy centers, right? And get it centered and unified in your heart, because the heart is the bridge between the upper and the lower chakras. Right now, everyone needs to be posturing their heart. Open your chest cavity. If you're doing yoga, do yoga that opens your chest and breathe in to the heart. And with every breath, allow it to highlight to you. Allow each breath to be a breath of gratitude, of breathing in every experience you have, being thankful for the lesson that you're learning in it. If you're allowing yourself to learn, again, humility, rather than trying to protect your feelings. Humble yourself. So many people are falling to that right now and would not be able to get through these frequencies and these energies or be able to shift into the next timeline because you're holding on to things that hurt you and you're waiting on someone to own up to it. South Node in Libra means it is time for justice. It is time for us to seek justice within ourselves. That's what all of this has been happening for, to find the peace in yourself, to find the justice by finding accountability and ask yourself, how did I show up in that situation? Humble yourself to it by showing up. How did I show up? How did I enable this? How did I allow this? Because everything that happened to you is an attraction from the subconscious mind. Something that you did not fix, that is unhealed in you, whether it's in you personally or it's in your bloodline. Some of us are battling our ancestors' demons. Some of us are battling our parents and our grandparents' demons that they did not fix. It's that serious right now. And there's no time to waste and there's no time to play. We need to identify it, rectify it, and eradicate it, transmute it. Don't hold it against them. Honor them in the love. And even if they choose to stay in their ignorance, that's fine. But it's for you to find it in them so that you can find it in you. And some of it may be past life regressions. You have been regressing because of your past life. And so these are the things that are showing up. Karma traumas. Saturn in Pisces, the Lord of Karma in the House of Karma until 2026. Hello. Get it together. Let me see what you're saying. So I wanted to at least highlight that from last week to this Monday, what has been happening with the Grand Trine. Do look into it and see how it resonates with your natal chart as well, because it is applicable. But we have to be willing to be practical in our application to what is happening. So let me see what I got to put my glasses on now. So now I can read you all the download. Let me see what Sun King is saying. I've recently realized that I'm responsible for my reactions to life. Been through some pain and I'm thankful I'm using that to help others rather than be negative. Exactly. And that's one of the things we have to look at right now. I'm facing that right now as I'm in my ancestral land, and there's a lot of land codes. There's a lot of DNA activation happening. There's a lot of unhealed stuff popping back up. And I had to face that rather than be negative, or hold any negative vibrations that my blood ancestor held, my father who passed away. I felt that creeping up. And we can't hold that. We don't want to acknowledge it, see it for what it is, but then release it. I choose not to hold this. Right? I see where it's bringing up all kind of things in the family, and it tempts me to want to hold them off. It tempts me to want to say I don't want nothing to do with them, which I can do by all right, but then I'm not truly transmuting the lesson, right? When we transmute, we have to transcend. In order to transcend, we got to transmute either way. And so if I stay in that negativity and hold my father's woes or his unhealed wounds, and this is essentially what we're doing when we don't find what our ancestors or our parents and grandparents have neglected to deal with, right? Their unhealed wounds. It passes on to you. And it will pass on to your seeds if you don't catch it. So it's like we have to be having the catch net right now, right? Trying to catch everything. I caught it. And then we have to release and let go of what does not serve us. It's not my job. We have to be in a again, why we have to posture our heart, because the heart is about understanding. We have to have that peace that surpasses understanding, and that takes spiritual maturity. I'm giving you like the practical application right now. Right? We can I'm zooming in now from the celestial into the earth, into our souls, into our minds, what needs to be done in our mind's action is releasing those, yes, releasing the trauma. And releasing the trauma is triggering, right? Triggering spontaneous laughter for me this week. Yes. And oh, thank you for reminding me. Humor. Thank you. With this humility, humor, we have to have humor in the humility within the humidity of it all, as we are humans in this earth. So we have to find the humor. Humor is really good for the solar plexus and helping us to release the tension in our solar plexus, because we all got tension right about now. Our solar plexus is getting hit, taking hits, right? People are remembering, their identity, things like that. Laughter is great. What is great? Unicorn stables. I never heard that one, but I like that. Laughter is great in the unicorn stables. I'm gonna start saying I'm gonna be a unicorn. Go down a unicorn rainbow. Um, oh, unicorn stables is a person. Okay. Oh, I see it. I see it. Okay, releasing the trauma is great, and you're saying laughter is great to that. Okay, I didn't even see that someone else came in. Hi, unicorn stables. Thought that was a statement or a sentence. Um, but yes, humor. Humor is good with breaking that up, breaking up that tension in the solar plexus. And I said a lot of us are tight in our solar plexus, which is our identity body, which is our ego. So you can see why. And it doesn't like to take the hit when you correct it, when you've been used to doing things a certain way. So you got to be gentle and loving and kind with yourself, and really just release it in the humor. So you want to find that humility, humor. We got to have humor. Humor is going to lead you smoothly into humility, because when I correct myself, when I tell those thoughts to sit down, I find humor in it. I look around like, you know what, that's funny. Let me just laugh at that. And then let me tell myself to sit down. Sit that thought down. And then you see the within the humility, you allow the vulnerability to guide you into your feelings, because vulnerability is, emotional. So your feelings will help you along the way. So humor in the humility within the humidity. And when I say humidity, I just got it like that because I was in this tropical island where it was very humid, but on a bigger scale, it was showing me that no, the frequencies that are being turned up can feel like we're in this humid place. So have humor within the humility that is in the humidity of it all. So as these frequencies get hot and turned up and humid, find humor in it so that you can find that humility. Right? Make sense? Sense. We got to make sense out of this nonsense, y'all. So before I go, I'm going to share this download that I got with that grand sextile, which had these two grand trines all up in there. And go back, you could go back and look at it for yourself, research it. I talked about it before, but I wanted to tie it in because I saw us going from that receptivity into the creativity mode, from the zero into the ones, right? And everything is really taken forward now, taking the initiative. So we have to be willing to take that initiative, be humble, release, let go. This is taking a lot. This is like that segment energy. And for those of you who have the calendar and you turn your calendar to where we are now, we are in the month of segment. So kind of look at that. We're in the month of segment. The faculty is elimination. So it's elimination over fear all month. all month I always say everything over fear, and in this month, elimination is over fear. Be ready to eliminate, be ready to let go, right? And be ready to destroy what needs to be destroyed, like Sekhmet. Some of us need that aggressive Sekhmet energy that's here to destroy, that Kali Ma energy that's ready to destroy and get rid of the misappropriated masculine energies. That's what Kali is about, right? When she cuts off their heads, it's to get rid of, to behead those misappropriated masculines. But that's a whole nother story, right? Let me not go into the Kali Ma. I could do that another time because I really want to share this download from this grand sextile. So this is a celestial earth, a tune in to tune up type of really bringing you the galactic news that you choose to infuse. So this was on the 28th. So on that day, 6 planets were set at 6 points on the chart that forms the Merkaba as the 2 triangles, one going up and one going down. These 2 grand trines are the Earth trine of Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus, and the water trine of Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. The earth is making things tangible in our sight. That's what that was for, so that we can see them. And the water is bringing the emotions through the sensations of our insight. So the emotions that are coming through our sensations, right? We can't have emotions without, sensations. Sensations are our vehicle. So we feel them. We feel everything through these sensations. This cosmic connection is a turning point that opens our receptivity as the receptive activity of the feminine energy. Negative change, infusion. Let me say that again because I thought that was another sentence. Let me say that again. So, this cosmic connection is a turning point that opens our receptivity as the receptive activity of the feminine energy negative charge infusion with the sun's negative charge port as a portal that stores and restores the light energy information from our galactic center known as Mama Universe or Father Time as Source Center, right? So coming from that center, this charge that is coming through the sun, as I always say, the sun is our server. So it's coming through the sun's negative charge port. And the best way to explain that is looking at it as if it was like a battery in a car, like the sun is the battery, and we are hooking up our cords to that negative charge port, the plus to the plus, the minus to the minus, for those of you who've had to jump start a car, right? So it is as if we are hooking up our cable wires, as we are also conduits of the energy to the sun as our battery charging port, our battery charging port to jumpstart our bodies, aka our vehicles, right? To jumpstart our bodies or vehicles as our life, world, and affairs in order to turn over in our mind and in our engine. The engine is like the mind, right? So we're being conduits of this energy, and the sun is like our battery. It's charging our port. And it's like jump starting our bodies, right? And when I say body, I mean not just the physical touch of the body, but your life, world, and affairs, because all of your life, world, and affairs are manifestations from the body and of the body. So all of it is considered the body, right? So all of that, it is jump starting that in order to turn over our mind and our engine and expand our capacity to start in the new earth frequencies. It is time. It is time. It is time. It is time to turn your engine over. Like it's like the engines are cranking, and it's time to turn over. And we need this jump start. It's like we need the clear. And so we're hooking our cables, meaning we're hooking our negative charge, our negative, meaning the feminine, meaning the minus, putting that onto the battery, the sun, which is the minus. So we're connecting to the sun's energy in that way, for those of you who understand it in that manner, right? This is energetic exchange that we're getting. That's what those solar flares that are spinning off, and it's for us to connect to the negative charge in those solar flares, right? So it's time to adjust to the new frequencies as the earth is turning over. As I said before, the earth is moving more into 5D. Ready or not, here I come. And if you're not infused with that, then you're going to get shaken off. Lovingly so. She loves you, but it's either you get it or you don't, right? So this charge requires a line of strong receptivity of the negative charge connectivity to infuse and inform the positive charge of creative activity of what to do in the development of this expanded consciousness into 5D. So it's like that. It's like this is the exchange that happens. Again, the zeros and ones, the plus and minus, the negative and positive. These are the duality charges within the earth. This is the duality of 2D consciousness that we expand into 3D and into 4D and into 5D. We cannot function without this duality, right? This plus and minus. So basically what this is saying is this charge, it's this line of a strong receptivity, um, and it's this connectivity to inform us of what to do. The receptivity is our information. It is our instructions. It is that feminine energy, our intuition that gives us what we need to know before we do. So if we don't allow ourselves, this is a very important step. If we don't allow ourselves to be receptive, we won't be able to do accordingly to what must needs be done in alignment with the frequencies and the energies. We have to be in alignment. So line your negative charge, meaning be open, be receptive to the receptivity, the receptive activity. Get all that you can get. And then that line of connectivity is what is then going to inform the positive charge. See, this is the exchange in the batteries that we don't even understand. The negative receives, the positive gives. But before we can give, we need to receive. And here comes the rain again in my tropical island, right? So yes, it is attracting our destiny. The destiny is according to us, right? And it can change. When you change and make these radical changes, we change our destiny. We change and we find our destined coordinates based upon this. So all of this is in the development of our expanded consciousness into 5D. This is the way we expand. And it's not just this time, but for some reason at this moment in time, it's being highlighted so that we can understand, overstand, and understand it. It's being highlighted to us, right? So ones must abandon old pipes and old paradigms, and choose to infuse with the light grid activation that holds the electromagnetic waves of the higher frequencies of fifth density light to rebuild true structures of the new earth. True structures, not real, true. So what it's saying is we must abandon the old pipes. The old pipes not working no more. What no longer serves you. The old paradigms. And we must choose to infuse with the light grid activation. This light grid that we're all a part of. Those of you who are light warriors and really doing the work, you are activating the light grid. Some of you are doing light grid work and you don't even know it. But you're activating the light grid. So it's for us to infuse with that activation. That's what a lot of us are here doing the work for, to hold the light grid activation and allow those of you who can get in and infuse with it to infuse. This holds the electromagnetic waves and those higher frequencies that we need from the fifth density. In 5D, we are getting higher frequencies of light, called, the fifth density light. So you have to turn over. This is why we got to turn over those old pipes, those things that are connected to the old paradigm, to the old shadows, the 3D shadows, because we need to change our Intel system, our processors, to be able to process the fifth density light, or it's going to be a challenge for you. If you have a 3D Intel, it's going to be hard to process the thick density light, if that makes sense. So this is a process, right? So as this cosmic Merkaba is being activated, so too is Metatron's cube as our filter for this cosmic information of light and energy waves to guide and protect those souls who chose to infuse. So this Merkaba, this Metatron's cube is also activated, and it's acting as a filter for this cosmic information. So we gotta love Metatron's cube. It's like our cosmic filter over the earth. And as it filters out this information, this light and energy, the waves, it guides and protects those who choose to. That's what we need in this. This is why we got to be in our Merkaba light, right? Yes, we are held. We are held in this light grid. We are held in Metatron's cube as well as a filter for those who choose to infuse with the light. Right, so get your Merkaba up. When you connect all 6 points of the Merkaba, you activate Metatron's cube. This is what I said earlier on that if you connect the 6 points, you activate that. So you will activate Metatron's cube, and this is a great turning point that this charge, that is charged. It's a great turning point that is charged with the negative fuse of feminine energy, to ignite the receptivity needed for this change, with the double trine in earth and water to activate what is seen and felt through sensations in time. So this is definitely needed, especially during that time. We needed that receptive activity. We needed this change. We needed this double trine as the Merkaba, the up and down triangle. Right? And so these are all gateways. These are all portals that are helping us tap into the 5D, helping us shift, helping us turn over. So I shared this with us so that we can see, and I'm reading it now. This was done a week ago, but as I'm sharing it with you now, I'm seeing the truth of it come into fruition as we've just passed the new moon that brought in all these ones. So you're seeing this masculine energy. So just as it said before, we needed that receptivity to lead us into the positive charge so that we know what to do when it's time. Now that it's time, what is it that you see that you need to do according to the receptivity? Everything is made more tangible. So according to the earth and the waters, we see and we feel. And our feelings, we must be accountable for what we see. We must hold it accountable. And then have right reaction, right responsibility according to our feelings, what is felt in the sensations of time, in this time-space reality. So there's so much happening right now as we turn over, and and I have to say this, there is no time to waste. Not if you're moving with the earth as she's turning over. Not if you're catching these frequencies and you're able to utilize this energy exchange to do what must needs be done. There's a lot that we need to let go of. There's a lot of ancestral work. There's a lot of DNA activation. And these codes are being given to us. Very simple, very plain. Get up and make sure you get in tune with the sun. The sun is giving off so many light codes. So fear not. When they talking about solar flares, be like, oh, yep, let me get it. And for those of you who are really doing your work, you will appreciate the solar flares. For those of you who are not, it may not feel so fun. But with true spiritual responsibility and accountability, you will wear it well, right? Able to trust what our response is when asked, exactly, and able to trust and be in acceptance. Do not expect anything. Expect nothing and accept everything. Acceptance is the opposite of expectation. Expectation is on the fear wheel. Acceptance is on the love frequency. So do not expect anything, but trust the earth and accept it for what it is. And with all this rain coming down, let me share this with you before I go. I had this as a message yesterday. Yesterday was really a me day. Um, I had to really get in tune with the earth. And this is for those who think of a river. Let me explain it to you like this, just as I got this explanation. Think of a river, and in the river, leaves from the trees will be falling down into the river, and they can kind of block the river, so to speak. So there needs to be rain, and when the rain pours, it removes the blockage. And so some people have a lot of leaves that are blocking their rivers that need to flow. And so the rain needs to come down and pour to remove it. The question is, are we going to accept it when there's a downpour like this? Some of us need this downpour. And when I was given this explanation, it was so beautiful, because as I saw it, I said, and that is the problem. A lot of people can't accept the rain. I can't stand the rain. That's what I was hearing in my head. A lot of people can't stand the rain. Can you stand the rain? Storms will come. This we know for sure. This we know for sure. Can you stand the rain? So we got to be able to stand it. That means when it storms, that means it's looking ugly outside. But can you stand the rain? That storm is coming to clear your river, to clear the flow of your river. The leaves are blocking the flow. And so when it rains, you got to let it rain. You got to let it pour and clear it out. Let it rain, clear it out. So let the thunderstorms come. Let the rain come. And don't run from it. That's the problem. I was saying some people are running, they're ducking, they're hiding. So that's why they can't clear the leaves out, because as soon as it rains, they put up the umbrella or they put up a shed because they want to cover, they want to block. Oh, I don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel it. Who feels it knows it. Again, sensations. We sense things. Sixth sense. Insight. Intuition. When you allow it, allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to feel the rain, feel it pouring down, and be humble in it. True humility is where you are truly in your truth, beauty, and goodness. I don't care how good you are. There's some bad people out there that know how to be humble when it's time to be humble. Right? I'm not promoting their bad, but I'm saying humility does not always equal good. Good does not always equal humility. Right? Accept the gifts as they are given. Ashe, ashe. I am always in full acceptance. Accept my love that lights the truth. Always. Right? So this rain is pouring, and I'm going to let it pour. And faithfully, those who are here with me, you understand, overstand, and understand the importance of being receptive. Respect the feminine energy, because we have to respect receptivity before you can be creative and do, because that is just the order of the universe. The earth came out of receptivity, the universe. So respect it and accept it and build into your next level of life. New earth is waiting for you, but it's an expansion. We're not running away from 3D. We're not leaving it. We are expanding our 3D into the 4th and 5th dimension, the love frequency, the unconditional love frequency, and expressing it in every way. Right? So I share that with you all. Thank you for those who came in. Unicorn Stable, thank you. Sun Rising, thank you for sharing your love and your light all the way from California with that sun. And, you know, get it where you fit in. Take this news wherever it resonates with you. The galactic news, the celestial earth news. But Wherever it resonates, not but, and where it resonates, apply it. Don't just take it in and absorb, because that's going to be the shadow of the Aquarian age. Just taking information and hoarding it. There must be practical application. We must practice what we are attuning to. Be in alignment of the truths so that we can turn over. Crank your engine, turn over, and be the driver of your car. The soul is driving the car, so do your soul work according to your spirit. Which reminds me, I'm going to say this lastly. The human design is according to the soul's incline within the spirit's design. So remember that your body is only the vehicle. The driver is the soul. So incline to your soul as it is within the spirit, because the spirit holds the blueprint over it all. That is the threefold of your being. Ashe? Ashe! Bringing in the dreams to reality. Yes. That's how we bring it in. That's how we manifest, as we're doing with this new moon energy. Manifestation is bringing it from the ethers into reality. And it has to pass through the bridge. The heart is the bridge. So breathe through your heart. Expand the capacity of your heart. Right? And with that, I'm going to leave it there. There's much, much more I have to give, and we'll do it in the next setting. Love you all. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out, and be the candle that lights the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment if you dare, so that we can keep the algorithms going to get to the next one. You're welcome. We're welcome. Unicorn Stable. Peace, love, and light. Ashe.